back to Don't Call Me Crazy, Call Me Mom podcast.
This is a judgment-free zone where we talk about all things motherhood.
And today we are going to talk about finding yourself again after becoming a mom. Whether it's things you like to do individually by yourself or how you feel about yourself and your body. And especially in today's world and society and social media, things that are so much more popular now that probably weren't a big thing like when our parents were moms and stuff, and just trying to keep up, I guess, and how you feel and struggle or don't struggle or thoughts on that.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
So I don't know how you want to start this, but I think I sent you a message about this. I've been watching all the documentaries on Netflix, like all of the American murder documentaries, and I can't remember which one I was watching, but I was watching the family members talking, and it flashes back to like years and years ago. I think it was like the 90s or the 80s. I can't remember what the documentary was, but it was where the husband murdered his pregnant wife.
Oh. Lacey
Peterson, yes.
Okay.
So it was flashing back to that, back when, they were looking for and everything, and the women, and I was saying, I thought it was to you, maybe it was to somebody else, it's just crazy how different things were back then with the way women dressed and did their hairstyle so short, and they looked older then than they did look now during their interviews. You know what I mean? They looked,
back then?
Yeah. Just because it's
weird.
just so different. Maybe I didn't tell you. It's just so different, like how we are now, and everyone's trying to like look younger as they get older. So I just thought it was so interesting, like watching that and how they look younger now than they did then.
Yeah.
And they might be the same age as we are.
So, like, did they get work done since then or something?
No,
it's the same people?
I don't know if they've gotten work done. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, the way that they style themselves, the way they do their hair.
Everything's changed.
Everything's changed. And everyone now is just trying to look younger and younger and younger. And that was not the focus then at all. So things are so different.
Yeah, I feel like hairstyles is like a huge thing. Like when I look back and see pictures of like my mom or grandmother, anybody, it's like the poofy curls and like big hair, don't care.
Yeah, and even in that video, it was like the super short, hair look. And I just feel like, I don't know, maybe that
made
them look a little older. Some of them, I don't know. Because some people can really pull that off. I never could. I could not do it.
So that's even changed then in that time from when they were the people in the documentary. So I know like you like to go to the gym a lot. Sorry, I'm going to clear my throat. You like to go to the gym a lot. Were you like that before kids? Like you liked working out and running?
I did. I was not into working out at all, like in high school, stuff like that. And then I found myself getting into running sometime after high school. I don't know how long after, but I found myself starting to get into running, and then I did a couple half marathons. But when I had Braden, I still ran, but not as long. Like I haven't done any long runs like that since having him. But I did go to the gym before I had him. But then once I had him, I stopped because, that postpartum anxiety. I didn't want to bring a baby to the gym. And so I just worked out from home. So I've always been into working out for a long time now. Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with, like, you've always liked running and stuff too, right?
Yeah.
But you said on one of our other episodes that you feel like you're in better shape now than you were pre-kids?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I feel like, I don't exactly know what I'm doing when I work out. I do the classes and I follow the instructors, or I'll run, or I have my Peloton that I've not really been using lately because I've been going to the gym. But I mean, I've never been like a fitness guru. I have no idea what I'm doing or how to, get rid of the cellulite, any of that stuff. No, but I am I'm in better shape now than I was then. And I do feel like the classes that I'm doing at this gym are just so much better. And I think I'm just in a different mentality too than I was then. I don't know.
Like what? Like mentality? Because I feel like that's actually a really good point. As a mom now, having like a different mindset somehow.
I guess in a few different ways, like, not that I ever minded getting like sweaty at the gym. I always got sweaty at the gym, but I also didn't want to look like a hot mess. Now I don't care. Like, go to the gym and I'm
for
gonna look
yourself.
I leave a hot mess, like the biggest mess ever. I look but I know I got a good workout in.
If you don't feel like that, then you're like, what did I even accomplish today? Yeah, so we've had a conversation before about like Botox and stuff, and I know like you've wanted it, but you haven't gotten it or anything like that. I think that's another big thing today is when you meet somebody, like, you don't know. Everyone, I feel like all looks so similar now. I'm like, you never know what people have gotten done or what, and it's like a standard you feel like you have to keep up with. And I'm so pro do whatever makes you feel happy about your body. Like, after having kids and everything, like, I feel like we've earned the right to, like, feel good about ourselves. But it's just also stressful that I'm, like, once you start it and then you notice the difference when you don't do things, whether it's hair, nails, skincare, Botox, anything at all, self-tanning, whatever, you know what I mean, like, pale or tan. Once you start it and then you like don't do it and it wears off, whatever it is, and you notice the difference, you're immediately like, I gotta get it done again because I realize how bad I look. You think this, like, personally, like, I think this. I realize how bad I look without it. Now I feel like I need it. And then it's just like, then I think about it, I'm like, it's so sad that I feel this way about myself, and I feel like I have to have all this stuff done to feel good, whatever it may be. I mean, I've never had Botox or anything, but I see people who do, and I'm like, that looks so good. And or just anything, getting your hair done. I went through like I was very like insecure about my weight over the summer, and almost got to a point of being unhealthy with it, where Steve like sat me down and was like, I don't know if you realize what you're doing to yourself, but things like that, where I'm like, I just feel like it's like not a standard, but it's like for me, like, it was a little bit of extra stress. Like, I have to do a lot of extra work now to feel good about myself, instead of just being like, I just feel good about myself because of who I am. Like, your looks don't matter. It's who you are on the inside. But I was like, that's not true.
They matter a little bit.
And especially to your own self. I feel like after having kids, you're like, I want to feel good about myself. I know I'm a nice person, a good person, whatever it may be, like a good friend, a good mom, but I don't feel good about myself personally, and I feel like I have to look a certain way. And I feel like that's a lot of pressure these days with what everybody does all the time.
I mean, when we were like younger, I feel like it was always just like trying to get in good shape to, look thin. But now it's even more than that, because I feel like Botox and the fillers and everything have really picked up a lot. At least, I mean, maybe they haven't picked up that much. Maybe it's just I notice it more now, because we are in that age group of where people get it done.
I don't think my mom or grandmother, I mean, they've had some stuff done, but nothing like Botox on a regular basis or anything like that. They each have had something, but nothing where it was like, once every so many months I'm getting this stuff, besides like occasionally your hair done or whatever. I was like, I don't remember that growing up. Like, you would see a grandmother, and I don't mean this in a mean way, but like, you could tell she was a grandmother. She had some wrinkles or whatever. That was like a normal, natural thing. And now it's like people want to put that off as long as they possibly can. And I was like, why? Because we grew up with that, so why did that change?
Because it is, like, I do like to think about it. It is a privilege to grow old and to have the wrinkles. So I do like to remind myself of that. Like, sometimes when I get in I want to get Botox phases, it is a privilege to get old. But at the same time,
but then you see somebody who
to get old.
Who
Nobody wants to feel that way.
You're like, you look really good.
So you go back and forth with it. I just know, like, so expensive. And yeah, once you do it, you don't want to go back to what you looked like before it. You have to maintain it. And I am no good at maintaining anything.
Same.
So
I feel like if you've watched our episodes, you've learned that about us, that we let things go with ourselves quite often.
Time for that. I mean, we didn't even have time to see each other until this.
Like, I know. We see each other more than ever.
Yeah, I don't have the time to dedicate to all those things. Like, and even like people that get their eyelashes done. Oh, it's beautiful, but that takes a while. Those individual lashes and how often you have to go, and then how expensive it is. I don't have the time to dedicate to that, and I'm impatient. I don't like things to take a long time.
I want to see results now. That's what, before we had kids, I was getting my nails done every 2 weeks and my hair done once a month, like clockwork. And once I got pregnant, I was like, I'm not going to be able to do this. And then, so I told my hair lady, like, I need to go back as natural as I can because I don't think I'm going to come back for a while. One, it can be expensive, but two, it was getting my hair done once a month, and my hair appointments were like 2.5 to 3 hours long. I was like, that is so much time that I just can't commit to after having kids. And so I had to change that, and that was just, that in itself was just such a commitment that I was like, one, don't want to spend that much time away from the kids if I don't have to. I'm already working Monday through Friday, and I'm not going to take my Saturday and be 3 hours gone. But just that alone, that was just hair. So I was like, I can't even imagine adding more things to the list.
Even before having kids, I've never been like routine with getting my hair done or nails done. Like, I'll get a pedicure for the summer or before a vacation, something like that. But I've never been the girl to, oh, my nails are growing out, time to get them redone. They're never painted, they're never done. Because I just found myself getting them done and not being happy with it, or they chip super quick.
Yeah.
And I'm not going back to get that chip fixed. It takes too long, to be honest. Even going to the nail salon, it always took too long for me. I don't, like I said, I don't like to do things that take a long time.
I was like, how can I just make this look permanent? And even Steve's like, there's surgeries for that. I was like, without doing a surgery.
Yeah. But I think I said this on the last episode. I would love to get a nose job one day. But also, like, I'm getting older, so do I really need to do that? But I would like to. I still think about it.
I have a mom friend who said something to me last summer, and we were talking about, like, people, like, in great shape and all this stuff. Like, when we moved into my current neighborhood, and I did not work out or anything, I was pregnant with my son, and it was in the summer, so it was like a hot mess, and it seemed like everybody in my neighborhood ran to work out. It was also during COVID, so nobody could really do much except go outside and go running. But they were all so tan, so incredibly in shape, and I'm pregnant, so I'm already like, I don't even want to stand next to these girls. Tan, a lot of them had like breast implants, hair freshly done, makeup looked good, and they're running like miles in my neighborhood. And I immediately told my husband, like, we picked the wrong place to move because I will never fit in here. And still think that I met all those women and have relationships with all, love them all. Actually, we become like good neighbors and stuff like that. But still, I'm just like, I see these girls and I'm like, they must feel so good about themselves because they look incredible. They're tan, they look healthy and like awake every day, and they're running. They must feel so incredible about themselves. Then I talked to one of them, and she's like, I'm one of the most insecure people you will ever meet. And I'm like, I would never have thought that. You look incredible.
But nobody sees themselves the way you see them.
Right.
That's the thing.
We talk about this with each other all the time.
Yeah.
So this other mom in my neighborhood, she says she always toys with the idea of getting things done or whatever. And she's like, and she made a comment like, but how vain am I to get that stuff done when I truly work out because I enjoy, this was the other mom, I enjoy actually working out. I'm not doing it for looks or anything. I just enjoy doing it and how I feel when I do it. And she was like, so I don't think I could ever get any work done to myself, at least not right now, because I want to show my kids that I'm happy and healthy and doing it what's best for me. Not saying that there's anything wrong with doing it, because she does get some stuff done, just nothing major. But she was just like, I don't think it's something that I will ever go like under anesthesia and get something like super big done and risk anything bad potentially happening and who knows what, just because I wanted to look a little different.
Yeah.
So she does get stuff done, just nothing she has to like be put to sleep for. But then you see the people who do, and I'm like, but they look amazing.
Yeah, and it makes them feel good.
I feel like they can wake up every day and be like, I feel good. And then when they say they don't, I'm like, really?
Yeah. I mean, as much as I talk about wanting to get my nose done, one, I know that I wouldn't do it, at least not anytime soon, because there's just so many other things to spend money on, like things that your kids need, that I would never put myself first like that to do that, because I know I don't need it done. But then also somebody else brought up to me, I think it was somebody from work, they're like, well, whose nose does your daughter have? And I don't think that she has my nose, but I feel like they change as they get older. And what would that say to my daughter if I did get that done?
Not to look like you.
Yeah. No, just
or you to look
if
like
I got that done and then she ended up having the same nose that I had, then she would be like, oh, well, my mom changed this because it was not a good looking nose. And then I'm pretty much telling her that she doesn't have a cute nose. But
we brought something similar like that up before, where it was like, especially if you have a daughter, watch what you say around them. And Madison heard me say, and I think I brought it up, say that like I look disgusting or something. She was like, what? And how she's made comments already about she thinks she's fat or chubby, and she's 7 years old, and she's not. But even if she was, I'm like, that shouldn't be a concern at 7 years old about your weight. You should be carefree, just enjoying life. And Steve even told me before, because I'm like, I hate my hair or whatever. And Madison has bright red, like strawberry blonde hair. And I had it when I was a kid, and she gets so many compliments on it. Olivia has the same thing. And so Steve was like, you need to not comment on your hair when Madison's around, because she knows most people have brown or blonde hair, and she's different. Her hair is not the usual that you see. And I was like, that's true. And then he sent me a thing that said, like, watch what you say around your daughters about yourself, because they're going to pick up on that. And they're going to be like, oh, should I be worried about this? And I was like, well, maybe when she's like 13, like becoming a teenager, that's an issue. But it's not. It already started.
Yeah, they start so much earlier than you would think. Like, you would never even imagine. I mean, didn't she say something to me about how a little girl told her to be her friend, she had to dye her hair?
She had to dye her hair brown and stop wearing her hair a certain way.
Yeah.
And I was like,
well, she's in first grade.
Yes, first grade. And I was like, that's somebody, one, we're not going to be friends with them, and two, we're not doing any of that.
And also, everyone is trying to get that red hair now. Like, they want
People
it.
do stop her and say, like older ladies, they're like, do you know how much I've tried to get that exact color?
Yeah.
Like, but, now she likes her hair. If somebody comments on it, she's like, or like, what's your name? She's like, Madison, and I have beautiful red hair. And I'm like,
she does.
I mean, I'm glad you feel that way about it, but we don't have to say that to people.
Yeah. I mean, Olivia always gets stopped and comments on her hair because she has red hair, and it is beautiful. I love it. But we do try to not say bad things in front of the kids, because it does start so early. And right now, Olivia's in such a, like, in her age right now, she's just giving out so many compliments, and it's so cute to see. I was telling you, I had just gotten out of the shower today, just took my hair out of a towel, and it was a mess. And Olivia's like, I love you hair, mommy. And I was like, oh, thanks.
I wish the world could see us, or we could see ourselves how our kids see us.
Yeah.
Like, they don't care if I just woke up, my pajamas are insane looking, my hair is a mess, I take my retainer out and have like a pimple or no makeup, whatever it may be, and they are just like, can I just snuggle with you in bed? I'm like, they don't care at all about how you look. I wish that's how we could feel about ourselves and how the world could see us.
Yeah.
Maybe the world does see us that way. Maybe it's just us. I don't know. But I do feel like there's just so many. I mean, we have a friend in common who says The faker, the better, right? And I was just like, yeah. And then I'm always like, should I get Botox? Should I start doing this? Should I start doing that?
Yeah.
There's a million things I would love to do. I just know myself, and I know it's a slippery slope that I'm going to feel like I have to then commit to it. And then I'm going to feel guilty about committing to it. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I would absolutely love to do a lot of it.
But when you're around people that do that stuff, it gets you so much more hyped. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. Like, there's so many times that I said I was gonna go out and get a consultation to see how many units I would need, but I know I'm not keeping up with that. So what is the point? What's the point of even going?
Especially when you see them, and I'm like, it looks incredible. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's all I have to do is just one appointment. I'm like, you know yourself. You know you're better. Like, not better, but I mean, you know yourself better to know you're not going to stick with this.
Yeah.
Like,
one thing I will say that's amazing. You don't need it though. I can tell by looking at you. I got my eyebrows microbladed a few years ago.
Needed.
Oh my gosh. It changes your face so much. It's amazing. And I should have gotten a touch up. I wanted to get a touch up when I found out I was pregnant with Olivia, so I couldn't. So it's been a few years, but I still like the shape. I still have the shape, so it's so much easier for me to shape my brows on my own, even though I'm not good at it. But I will go back. I'm going to go back and get them redone.
You really liked that. I remember your before and after picture, and it was
it's
a humongous
amazing.
difference.
And I mean, it still is lasting. It's been like 4 years or something. It still lasts. It's just, it could be touched up for sure. But that makes such a difference.
Charlie's like, what's that? Is that Molly coming? Here comes the other puppies.
It's Molly.
They like our podcasts too.
Yep.
Right?
Always being a guest. Come on over.
Even thing down to like teeth whitening. I mean, there's just, it's never ending. What you're wearing, I used to I guess it's more when you're like a high schooler and stuff, but just, I don't know. I just feel like there's so much upkeep today.
Speaking of teeth whitening, that is a big thing for me. I've been wanting to get that done or do that. I know there's the strips and stuff. I've been wanting to do that because I feel like everybody I see right now has the whitest teeth, and I'm a coffee drinker. I normally always brush my teeth after I drink coffee, but my teeth could be whiter.
They are white.
But no, they're not when you compare them to other people. But I do have like a little bit of a fake tooth on my front tooth that was chipped when I was young after my adult tooth came in. And they kind of like match it up to the color when they do it. They match up to like the color of your teeth as best as they can. So now if I get my teeth whitened, that won't whiten.
That won't change.
Yeah. So
then you'll be self-conscious about how that looks.
And I can get that replaced, but you know, the more times you get it replaced,
is it worth all
but
that?
The more times you get it replaced, I feel like it compromises the real part of your tooth, and I think more chips off. I'm not a pro with it, so I don't know the exact thing, but then I get afraid about that. So now I just have to deal with my non-white teeth. But one day,
tell her teeth are white.
One day I will get that fixed too.
It's just so much stuff. Even like over the summer, I went to the gym a lot last year, but then I stopped. Like one summer hit last year, and I didn't have the intention of stopping. I said I was going to take the kids and drop them off and work out and then go to the pool. It just never happened that way. And I was like, well, I'm not working out anymore, and I'm not tan. Obviously, I'm like a pale, very pale person.
Bring on summer. I need some sun.
I don't get anything done. My hair, nails, nothing. Nothing's been done in a while. So I was like, what will make me feel good? And I started to watch drastically what I was eating. Not starving myself yet, but I started to drastically watch what I was eating. And then I started to lose a little bit of weight, and I wasn't getting hungry as much. But 4 months later, Steve's like, you went like 12 hours today and you didn't eat a single thing. I was like, yeah, I just don't feel hungry. And he's like, that's not good. That, like, not even like a granola bar, nothing. And I was like, I'm just not hungry. And he's like, you have, and I did lose not a drastic amount of weight, but quite a bit, like right at the end of summer.
For an already tiny person.
it worked. And I think I almost not became addicted, but I was like, I can see the results. And I usually, like you work out a ton, and I tell you all the time you're skinny, and you're like, I'm not. usually you don't feel that way about yourself. But the fact that I started to feel that way and see it, I got like deeper and deeper and deeper. And then it was to the point where like I should be feeling hungry and my body wasn't. And after so long, I actually started to feel sick. And Steve's like, your body's almost going into starvation. And he's like, you low-key kind of have an eating disorder. You're not eating because you see results like that you're getting skinnier and skinnier. And I was like, no, I don't. And then like started to realize I did start to feel bad. And I had some other issues come up that were all related to that I wasn't eating, like hardly at all. If like I would go 2 days and eat one like normal meal in 2 days. Like it was pretty bad.
I could never do that.
But, and I love eating. So Steve's like, you out of all people, like this is the craziest thing. I eat literally all day long. And I just had like an aha moment. Like he is right. I kind of have now created like an eating disorder. Not that I'm scared of food, but I didn't realize I was like passive aggressively, intentionally starving myself kind of. And then I was like, I want to start eating again, but I don't even know how to eat because I don't feel hungry anymore. Like I only eat when I feel, now I feel hungry all the time. So I eat all the time. But he's like, you just have to force it now because your body has gotten so used to not eating. You never have that hungry feeling. It just is like past the starvation part. And I just had to start forcing myself to eat again. Now all of that's passed and I'm back to normal. But I mean, I went that extreme. So I was like, I don't do anything else for how I look. Let me do this.
Yeah, the one thing you can control.
Yeah. And I was like, this is crazy to me that I got to this point and I'm doing it in such an unhealthy way, not realizing it in that time.
That's sort of how I feel about like the gym classes. So I would always try, like on all my days off, to never have anything planned during the time of my gym classes or right after because I wanted to make sure I had time to shower. But now I'm starting to realize like I have to do things like Braden's t-ball and now Olivia's gymnastics, but I get to do a class before. It's just not the class I normally do. So I do have to change things a little bit. But what I have been working out less than normal and doing less classes than normal, and then you do start to feel kind of gross about yourself. So, but when you get back onto your normal schedule, you start to feel better, and then the kid gets sick and you can't go, and you have this planned and a play date, and I wasn't planning any play dates during that time because I was just kind of being selfish.
Well, you have very little time to get to be selfish because you work too.
But I'm trying to do some more things because they are only young ones, so I also don't want to take that away from them. And Olivia's she's not going to be out of school forever. Soon she will start pre-K later than the normal child because she's a November birthday, so we do have an extra year. But I don't want to. I want to take her to do things too. So, but I also I'm not the nighttime workout person. I prefer the morning time, and Braden doesn't get home from school till 4, and then trying to take him to the gym so I can work out. That's not going to work. It's too much.
It is a lot. Steve's the same way. He's tried doing the gym at night, and he's just like, I'm just so much better in the morning. Yeah, it's hard for him to get up, but he's like, I will do this hands down over. Going.
I'm a morning person, not a nighttime person.
Yeah,
in everything I do.
It is like, and then I don't know. I feel like learning to be happy with yourself, how you look after having kids, in today's world is very different than what it used to be. Yeah. And again, I don't want it to seem like I think bad about anyone who gets anything done. I think it's great. If I knew I could stick with things and was, obviously, if we've watched other episodes, I don't spend money on myself, but if I was okay with that stuff, there's a million things I would absolutely love to get done. But I just know myself better, and I know that that's just not for me yet. I'm sure someday down the road that's going to change, but
even like another thing is like clothing. I feel like clothing styles change, and I don't go shopping that often. So then I try to find, like, when we have something to go to, I'm like, well, I have to find in style clothes. Like, what what are all the people wearing now? Like, what is the cute mom clothes? Like, you want to look good, but you also still,
You want to be comfy, but cute, but you look like you could go to eat right now, but also I could go to a park. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, how do I dress like all of that in one?
Just finding, like, what to wear to fit in with everybody else, too.
And I do think a big thing to always keep in mind, too, is you see, like I learned in my neighborhood, you see the moms that look incredible, in shape, like they've got it all, like makeup, hair, everything. Even their outfit, their workout clothes. I'm like, that is the cutest workout outfit I've ever seen. They look like they have everything, but then when you talk to them, I'm like, there's other things going on. That is how they find their peace or whatever, which is a thing I would like to do a whole other episode on. Is like finding your peace as a mom. I just don't feel like we can go really into that today, but after you talk to these people, which I personally know I'm bad at judging people off the bat, and I'm working very hard because it's been done to me quite a bit over the past couple years, I feel like. And I feel like people didn't get a chance to know me and they just judge me right off the bat, but I know I am guilty of it. But I think about how it makes me feel. I feel like everybody does it. So I'm trying really hard, very hard, to stop doing that. Because all these women who I've met, and I'm like, they look a certain way, or their purse is a certain brand, their jacket even is, they must have money, they must be like bougie, or they must be stuck up, or whatever. And Steve's like, people might think the same about us. And he said how I might come off to people, or whatever. Not about like having money or anything, but like just different things. He's like, you might put your kids first so much, people think you don't want to like do things with friends or whatever. But anyway, you see then that they look great and they have everything and they're done from head to toe. And like, there's nothing about you that you could possibly want to change. But then you talk to them and there's some kind of struggle in their life or something that they have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, or just something going on, and you're like, I would never have guessed that. And they're like, yeah, the way I find peace is I work out every day, or I do X, Y, and Z. And like,
yeah, some people, like, you know, they wake up and they get themselves all put together, hair, makeup, clothes, and, you know, they go to the bus stop and they're all done up and, you know, they go about their day. Where I'm just like barely hanging on at the bus stop, like hoping I finished my cup of coffee. But it's just whatever's going to make you feel better about yourself is what's important. So I wish that I could wake up and be all done and put together by 8 a.m., but that is not possible for me.
I do wake up, and the first thing I do almost every single day is wash my face. I have like a skincare routine. I'm very big on that, and I do it before bed. And that is one thing in my life I will say I am religious about, and I carve that time. I don't take much time for myself. I take that 10 minutes every single morning and every night. And if I skip it in the morning and I go downstairs to get coffee or breakfast, like if it's the weekend, I do not feel awake until I go back up and do it. And then after that, I'm like, oh, I'm ready for today now. Like, I don't know why it makes such a difference, but for me, that is the one thing I am like dead set, like religious on that routine. But I do think having an episode about just this, like now that we see like the gym means something to you, it makes you feel a type of way. I know myself, people say like I hang out with my kids too much, I do too much with the kids. But I've recently done some like soul searching, and I'm like, that's how I find some peace. There's a lot of drama going on around, or like things can bring you down quickly, and I'm trying to learn how to refocus on, like, if I'm starting to feel some type of way, I might need more, like, if you're starting to feel some type of way, I might need a gym class today to feel better type of thing. And recently I was like, one thing I do now that I love, I really like cooking and taking time with doing stuff with food or whatever. And I've been really focusing on, especially since I had a little not eating thing, like now Carter's home most days for lunch, I take time and I make myself a really healthy or really good lunch, where I used to just eat like his sandwich scraps or something. I never made myself lunch, but I was like, I will take 45 minutes, make something really, really good, and sit down and eat with him every day. I've tried really hard I was like, that just gives me a little peace in the day for myself, and it makes me feel good. So I feel like that could be an episode too.
Yeah.
Like how, like the gym, and what other, if there's anything you guys do that you can recommend too for people to find peace. But I think especially there's already so much stress with how to look today. Mm-hmm. I don't know how this is comfortable for him. He's like over my ankle. But I tell you all the time, and like you said, we're hardest on ourselves. Yeah. I'm like, you must have a clown mirror in your house by what you say you think you look like, because you never look the way you think you do. And I feel like everybody is. Yeah,
we all say things.
Like that.
We all see ourselves different than everybody else does. And that is another reason, too, why everyone puts so much time into themselves and does the things that they feel like they need to do, because you wonder what other people think about you, and you want to make yourself look good so other people don't think you look bad, or, you know. We're our own worst critics.
And nowadays, I mean, like, how many times do we hear, I mean, not necessarily our husbands, but like guys in general, like, oh, that girl's like boobs. I was like, how do I say this like appropriate? Looks so great or whatever. And then I'm like standing there in the conversation with whoever, and I'm like, I obviously have nothing to contribute here. And then that is something like I get self-conscious about often, but I've been like that my entire life, so I can't imagine myself ever changing that. But I am just like nowadays, it's just, I don't know, like it's things like that where it's just like you hear things and then you see it and you're like, it does look better. And obviously other people think it looks good too. And if I don't have it and people think it looks good, should I have that also?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I guess it's just doing whatever you have to do to feel good about yourself.
But at the same time, if you spent your money on that, you wouldn't feel good about it because you won't even buy yourself a $14 pair of shoes.
That's true. That's so true.
What are you going to feel better about?
I will never do it, but I'm like, if somebody was like, if you could ever get anything done, what would you get done? I for sure have a list of things I would go for.
But then also the anxieties come out and you're like, what would this do in the long run? What would the Botox do in the long run? Like,
what if something, I would go down the rabbit hole, like, what if I'm put under and something goes wrong and then I don't come back to my kids, and it was all because I wanted to change how I looked. It wasn't something I needed to do. It wasn't a medical issue. I just was not happy with my appearance, and I'm risking this. Like, I go down that type of rabbit hole.
I understand that. Very slim chances of something like that happening, but I can see.
To me, it's going to happen.
Yeah. I could see that.
So, anyway, I'm sure you guys all have, like we all do. Y'all look at ourselves, and you always compare yourself to other people. And after having kids, your body is completely different. But what you say about going to the gym and like your body now is like in much better shape than you were pre-kids, I do think that's something different now. Like before kids, like my wedding, it was just like be skinny. And now I feel like more women want to be actually strong and in shape.
It's more about being fit than being skinny.
You want to be healthy, and like you see somebody, you're like, wow, their body is like at the pool, like you can see their arms and like muscles in their stomach. I'm like, they're not big, but I was like, and I'm not even going to say they're skinny. They are, but I'm like, they're so in shape.
Yeah, it's different.
So I feel like it's different now, too. You want to look in shape and not be skinny.
Yes. And don't take this episode as judgmental, because if you get the Botox and all that stuff, we want it.
Well, that's what I was saying.
We are not judging. Like, we want it.
I am
all for we just haven't done it.
Doing it. I just think how different it is now that...
Yeah.
Like that's something that I want blows my mind, because my mom would be like, I never wanted that at your age. And I'm like, that's on my list someday. I'm probably going to get that.
I've never heard my mom talk about Botox or anything like that when I was young, ever.
And now I'm like, and that's on my list of like, if I can commit to that, I would probably want that. I mean, I do want that.
Yeah.
I haven't done it, but I was like, I do want it.
Yeah, I go back and forth. Like, I do want it. And then other times I'm like, nah, I don't need it. But... No, I want it.
That's what I'm saying the difference is now. Like, our moms would never have been like, oh, like, and now, like, I'm going to be 40, and I know that that's not old, but it does seem, it's the first time I feel like a big, like, oh, you are not little anymore. Maybe you should be getting stuff done. I don't know. So that's what I'm just saying. I think it's great if you do. I wish that I could. But then I also get sad that it's something that I want. So I was like, I feel like I shouldn't want that.
Yeah, we should be able to love ourselves
Yeah.
and enjoy getting old, but
it's not the world we live in.
It is not the world we live in. Exactly.
So whatever you do to feel good about yourselves, keep doing it.
Enjoy it.
Yes, soak it up. I need to find more things, but...
Yep. Yeah. Don't feel bad about it. I mean, if that's what makes you happy, that's what's important. So...
And I feel like to always try to remember everyone has something going on. So however they're doing it to get by through the day and feel good that day, good for them. I'll try not to judge. Anyway, thank you.